Hey guys!
Hey!
Welcome to season
2
of Pray for Growth, where growth is a journey.
So let's get learning.
Right, so let's get into it. We're going to be talking about coming into this new version of ourselves. I know the world may feel a little bit different right now, and we all might feel like we're discovering something deeper about ourselves. Would you say?
I would say that. The world has probably shifted in a way that has made us reorient ourselves to our environment and maybe the people in our lives.
And I think about life even a little bit differently and how we show up in our relationships and connection to others.
But last season we did talk about growth, self-discovery.
Yeah, and purpose.
So
should we just get into the questions?
let's get into these questions because they're like, yo.
Should we set a timer this time?
Y'all know we don't ever abide to
like
the
a
time.
10-minute time?
No, let's just flow.
Okay.
I'm going to be better this year. My New Year's resolution is to talk less. Hold me to it. I'm going to talk less.
Let's get to the point. Straight to it. No bullshit. All right. Who wants to go first? Okay, I'll ask you first. Okay. How do you recognize that you're becoming a new version of yourself?
I think the biggest thing that I've recognized about becoming a new version of myself is my response and reactions to things.
Yeah.
Those have changed drastically in a way that I was not expecting. I mean, of course I'm expecting to change and grow, but I think also to, at the rate that the change happened and the response was happening, I think old me had a hard time figuring out like what is this thing that's happening.
Right.
So that's been
acclimating itself.
Yeah, that's been
all
the
the
biggest
change
thing for me. How do you recognize that you're becoming a new version of yourself?
When I start to feel uncomfortable, like the old version of me starts to feel uncomfortable, and then the things that I used to do just don't make any sense anymore. And then when I want to revert back to it, it's this feeling of like, oh, that's not comfortable. This is not comfortable. So you're in the in-between space. And I'm like, oh, I clearly must be changing. Like,
Right.
And I honestly feel like I'm unrecognizable now, if I'm being real. But,
Wait, don't move away from that.
Yeah.
Because you just said something that you said the old actions feel uncomfortable, and then you said the new actions also to at times feel uncomfortable, right?
You're like in this.
And then you're in this, and I think that's been the
between
biggest thing for
space.
me about the reaction thing is that the new actions are uncomfortable, and it's the uncomfortableness of the new actions that causes the friction. Because then I ask myself, like, am I crazy? Have I regressed, as I said earlier?
And it's really not a regression, it's just literally evidence of growth, which is actually.
But then also too, I don't have a point of reference for it because it's new. The old stuff you have a point of
That's a
reference
very
for.
good
So
point.
with
That's a
the
very
old
good
stuff,
point,
you're like,
actually.
oh, well, even if the old behaviors were toxic,
Right.
it made sense to you. So you was like, well, this makes sense because this is how I respond. But like the new stuff, I'm asking myself, well, am I crazy? Am I being stupid because like, I don't do this.
Yeah.
I do that. So I just wanted to add.
Yeah, because you're used to being one way, and then
Exactly.
you realize that's not the reality anymore, and you're like, what the hell? I'm learning to have more emotional resilience.
Right.
And I realize that what I'm trying to do, and even with my business and my life, that I can't be so emotionally attached to everything. So I've had all these different scenarios pop up in work and my relationships that have kind of like tested me. And each time I've been shocked at myself at how I've reacted to the situations. Like work, I know last season
She was struggling.
I have a job now. Okay.
Ooh, let's clap it up for the job because we need that money.
We need that money. We're still figuring out a few things. Because with that, I feel like this job, everything in my life is very spiritual.
Right.
And even the way that this job came into my life, as we talked about in last season, it was at a point when I stopped seeking and I stopped looking for work, and then it found me. But it is, however, the lowest paying job that I've ever had. And I love the company and the brand, but now he's asking for a lot more of me.
Exactly.
And I'm being asked, I feel like, from the universe to practice setting those boundaries. But still showing up with like my being creative and still like enjoying what I'm doing, and not being so attached, because old Prai didn't play. Like, she didn't play about her money, her time. She was gonna fake it till she made it. Even if I didn't, even if at that time I thought I deserved it, so you gonna give me my money.
Exactly.
And at this time I'm like, okay, well, I've been beat up by the job industry. So I kind of like, was being just like a yes, trying to appease everything at first.
Yeah.
Like just chilling, like whatever, cool. But then as some more tasks started being added, I'm like, hold on, I'm a freelancer. Hold on. Old Prai started, but then I had to realize it's like, it's not necessarily old Prai. It's like I'm learning to like implement everything.
That's I think that is the lesson of the year.
Yeah. So in reacting differently and just implementing even the old parts of me, the new version of me, and just reacting differently to different situations.
Really quick off subject. Did you show them your ring? Because I don't think you were married last time. I meant engaged.
By the way, yes, I'm engaged.
Those are new things too. That's showing up in a new way, in a new space.
Should have put a ring on.
And he did.
And he did. That's true. Yeah, even in my relationship, like reacting to things differently. I think that's what got me here. Like, I do believe that's what got me at Rain. Because we've had our trials and tribulations, and it's only because our growth as individuals and together.
Right.
Like, that I don't react the same way that I used to, or take it as personally offensive, because I realize we're just freaking humans.
That part.
Trying to navigate this world.
That part. How do relationships either support or challenge your evolution? I thought about this question. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I need time to think about this one.
Okay.
So you go first.
I'll talk. For me, I think it's about owning the evolution, and I can't necessarily say that the relationship itself is posing challenges, and it's just that I'm posing the challenge for myself, because I'm saying this is how I relate in this relationship with this person, right? And I believe that the people that I have in my life at this point love me enough and welcome me, however I choose to show up, because I'm always showing up in an intentional way. So I don't.
Right, you trust yourself to do that.
I trust myself to do that, and they know that. So like, if they see a different evolution of me, they're not like, who is this? Because it's not like me going left. It's like, oh, this is a new, improved, a growth that's happening. But I think for me, it's no, Gavin, this is how you relate to this thing. And it's not that the other person in the relationship is expecting that. It is me putting that expectation on myself. And so that's been the biggest challenge for me, that I've often, particularly in this year, I've had to talk to myself to say, who's asking this of you? Who's asking you to behave this way? And the answer is always me. Like, when I'm honest, I'm like, no, that other person didn't say, like, this is how, right, it's me. And I'm like, oh, well, just stop doing it.
Yeah.
And
like
do the new things.
The other person's not controlling how I behave. So it's a choice that I get to make.
The biggest challenge in that has been me, because most of my close friends and family are on a similar path as we are, and praying for growth and having development spiritually, so they support that growth in general, so like they want me to evolve, but I can at times be a hindrance to my own success
and growth.
So that's how I'm gonna answer this. So I've been the biggest challenge, but I will say that I've had friends who've really been pushing me to go further in my growth this year, because they like that for me. Not that they like it for me, but they see how it's, and it may be from a selfish reason, but they also see how they benefit from it also too.
No, that's a whole different conversation, because
and they're like, no, like there is something rich, because some of us,
even though I don't mind that to a degree, because hey, like I like that you believe in me.
Exactly. But I think for some of my friends, particularly on the spiritual side, I am a little further in my journey, so it's like, I am for them somewhat of a role model, or like someone that's like, no, like you, the more that you push ahead, it makes me less afraid to push ahead and
discover these things. I feel like that's why we bond so much, because for our people, we are that. Like for my sisters, even for my fiance, like I'm the big dreamer, the person who's devoted, who has the audacity, the big cojones. But no, for real. And so I feel like for us, like once we're able, and that's why we're probably meant to meet each other, because we need each other, because it's hard to be that person and not have people that you can go to.
Right.
That's probably why we're doing this. Cool. But no, I understand that. I get that.
So on to you. How do relationships either support or challenge your evolution?
I feel like relationships have been a big part of the growth of my life right now, clearly. And so specifically, I feel like everybody in my life right now, honestly, because like with my fiance, like there was a lot of things we had to overcome to get to this point. And I don't think I ever imagined being engaged in the climate of the world that we're currently living in, or to be engaged to a Ukrainian man. Right. So he's always there for me. He's 10 toes down for me. He don't play. But that is still something that we have to navigate, especially because I'm very vocal about how I feel, and he has to be there for me. Same for him.
Right.
So yeah, like, you know, going to couples therapy, just like making sure we're ready for the next step. And me being a stepmother, because he has a daughter and we have an amazing relationship, but sometimes I feel guilty because I don't want to overstep. Her mom trusts me, but she has a great mother as well.
Exactly.
You know, but sometimes I do want to be like, and I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, now I even get with my dad, like to a degree.
Right.
As a stepfather to us at a very young age. He came into our lives at I was 6. So I came into her life at 6. Crazy. But and just seeing her grow up, she's going to be 9 now, so in March. So it's just
another month.
Another month. So navigating that, and I don't have children, and I'm 31. So it's another thing. Don't I know? And then the codependency with my sisters.
Right.
So being in a relationship where I'm learning to put myself, and I'll start off with saying being in a relationship and learning to put him first. And then in all of it, learning to put me first and not abandoning myself has been the hardest part. Especially Michael just moved here, my youngest sister. So getting her settled in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clap it up. Be proud of you.
But she's a baby. She's only 20. She, like in her brain, like I am her, like I'm like her mother.
Right.
And so having the conversation with her of like, baby, I'm not your mom. Like, no, that was hard for me. That was so hard because my therapist is the one who told me to have that conversation, like with her, like, you know, she has to understand, you know, that was really tough. But she did. And I was still there for her in the exact same way that I was, but it was just like this attachment. We need to get this figured out. Like, you got to figure out some things on your own, but I'm going to be there for you every step of the way. I'm going to make sure you're good. And then it caused some turbulence between me and my middle sister, right? Because we have to take care of her.
Right.
And then that became a whole thing with my parents and approaching that. And so my sister had a very honest conversation with my mom. She's kind of a crash out. I love you, girl. But she knows it. But that is how she expresses herself right now because she's still healing. For me, I've already kind of gotten over the mommy issues, daddy issues. Like we're all still healing actively, but over that attachment to them and blaming them for anything, I've gotten over that. But there was a point where I did feel myself, as she was expressing how she felt, wanting to do the same, right? And kind of crash out because I never crashed out. And so part of me was like, maybe I should crash out and tell her how I feel, right? But then the other part of me was like, you're doing so much bigger right now. You're doing things that are so much bigger than this right now. And maybe sometimes family can be an obstacle, and this doesn't have to be something you figure out because there's nothing to figure out. You're very aware of, trauma and things that have occurred growing up, and my parents' trauma, and I understand we're all just human navigating this world, but I also don't want to therapize my mom. So that's ultimately why I chose not to have a conversation with her about anything, because that is also my trauma. So it's like, even if I crashed out, I might end up therapizing her. You know what I'm saying?
When you said that, that your sister crashed out, and then listening to your sister crash out, you didn't crash out because you're like, I'm doing something bigger. And I would say it's interesting that you say that, because I would say probably for the last 10 years or so, that's been my thing. I don't crash out because I'm always like, I'm doing something bigger, right? And as you say, it's and I struggle with that. And I'm being honest, being very honest. Sometimes I struggle because, yes, it is healthy to get things off of your chest and to say what you feel or how a person may have crossed a boundary that shouldn't have been crossed. But in the spirit of accountability for myself, I go, at the end of the day, I am only responsible for my actions.
Yeah.
I'm not a minor, so there's no one taking care of me. So if I'm in a relationship where, I'm being abused or being mistreated or boundaries are being crossed, I mean, that's also too on me. And this is not to give a pass to the abuser. That's not what I'm saying. But also to take into accountability that I'm allowing myself to stay in this situation.
Yeah.
Or to maintain a relationship with someone who's not respectful of my time or respectful of my feelings or whatever it is. And that happens. And I think little Gavin wants to have a temper tantrum and crash out and you did and blah, 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 blah. And if you would have and yada, yada, yada. And I don't.
This is how I feel.
Right. And sometimes I want to, and I don't. I haven't in a long, it's been over 10 years. I haven't. And it's funny. And when you were saying that, I did, and I wanted to, my mind was well, where does that crash out energy go? I don't have an answer for it. I'm telling you right now, I don't have an answer for it. But
it's a matter of for me, does this need to be released in this way right now? What am I looking for to happen after this? Will I feel better? One, if I don't think I'll feel better, then is there really a purpose in doing this? Two, like you said, was a boundary clearly crossed? No, it just is a situation that happened. And I actually expressed a lot of it to my dad, because he's like me, kind of non-confrontational. And so he's like, wow, when you put it into perspective, as I'm like, you guys didn't fail us. As parents, you did the best that you could, but you let me make you aware. But that's still new Prasia, even having to sit and decide, old Prasia would have probably been really angry, cried, emotional, isolated and emotional.
Right.
But still there for my sisters every second of the way. I even stood back from my sisters and I was like, I understand this is hurtful, but you gotta heal. And this also affects me too, so I cannot engage in this conversation fully right now. I got other things I gotta focus on. And that's what I mean by something bigger.
That part, y'all hear that? That's that growth. That's that growth right there. Question 3. What does showing up for the new version of you actually looks like daily? You want to start with that?
What does the showing up for the new version of me actually look like daily? Acting instead of overthinking. Yeah. I spend so much time thinking. And sometimes I even think about how much more time I would have if I didn't spend so much time thinking, ruminating, trying to figure things out. And so, that's one thing I'm trying to overcome, is just being and not always thinking about the next step, what to do next. And I think that happens when my anxiety starts to come up about certain situation or doing new things. So that And then I'm not trying to over-explain or prove myself. It's been a big one. I just don't want to do it anymore. I can't.
Right.
I just can't do it anymore.
Right.
Like, and there's going to be times where people test you and situations, even in my relationship, like, I can't take the bait. It's never personal. That's more of a reason not to take the bait. Stay focused, stay locked in. Because I spent so much energy doing that before, proving myself for every little comment a family, friend, or anybody would make. No. I know what I'm trying to do. That's the only thing. And now I got to trust that self-trust. Whenever I give out that energy, that's a little bit of self-trust that I'm giving away to another person's projections. So I got to keep it locked in and stop doing that shit. So yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think for me, which is, it's new. It's like this whole new thing so I've been taking care of myself. And I know people say that often about
continue.
taking care of themselves. But I actually have started to treat myself the way that I treat people that I care about. And what I mean by that, when I'm bothered by something or feeling down about something, I literally ask myself, I say, Gavin, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you bothered?
Yeah.
How can I help? Because I know that in the past, previously, when things would bother me, I am a person to work things out, but I work it out in my head and on the go. So like, I do find a way to a conclusion, but there's a lot of whoosh, because I'm just trying to plow through life and plow through things. And I made a commitment to myself at the beginning of the year to treat myself the way that I treat others, because I know that I treat others really well. Yeah. And so when things are not going right, or I'm a little disappointed about something, like, I actually talk to me first before I go talk to a friend.
Anybody else?
I'm like, hey, Gavin, why are you upset today? Like, why are you blue? And I literally name the things out. And then I say, well, how can we work through this? How can I help you? Because I know it's little me, acting out or feeling slighted or ignored or unloved. It may not be true, and I have to. And when I speak it out loud to myself, I'm able to, in real time, say, well, clearly that's not true. Yeah.
So you're challenging your thought process.
I'm challenging my thought process.
Because it's not true, but it's coming from somewhere. And
I create the space for me to do it. And so that
you're creating the safe space for little guys.
Right. And so then by the time I share things with my friends about the day, it's not just like, I am blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what, Prasia, this happened today, right? And I can talk about it in a very honest and open way. Yeah. Rather than you saying, well, you're dealing with blah, 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 blah. Right. And it takes the burden off of people to save you. And y'all hear that? And for people to meet you where you are, because with us, you'll be talking to something like, oh yeah, Prasia, I was thinking the same thing. Right. But that's because you're doing the work on yourself, and so it lets you know that you're moving in the right direction. Yeah. And so that growth is important, because it helps people who are in the process of growing to understand that they are on a similar trajectory, or a trajectory where they want to be. So that's been the biggest thing. And I hug myself.
Oh, let's hug ourselves right now. I love you, girl.
I do. I actually, because I'm single, unlike Prasia, no one has put a ring on it. And
I do get a lot of hugs.
And I didn't put a ring on anyone. I would love to put a ring on someone. You know who you are.
Oh, 2026.
Yeah. But actually, when I sleep at night, because I don't have anyone to come
that lady did think you were my husband that other day.
She did. I sleep like this, hugging myself. And it feels good. It feels good to hug myself and not wait for someone else to hug me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of hug myself in my arm, be like, that kind of stuff. And I love that you said taking care of yourself, because that's actually a really good one. But mine is more from the perspective of capacity. But I love how you said take care of yourself in the way that you treat yourself the way that you treat others. And for mine, it's showing up for myself the way that I show up for my community. Because I always pray it's a brand about personal development.
Right.
I'm trying to get these women to heal, evolve, build, and grow, and all this stuff. But sometimes I think my way, like you said, through that for myself instead of giving myself what I actually need. So I'll sit there and I'll work on something where I'm talking about that, but in that moment I might need that. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, why am I can't show up authentically and fully for them. I'm being challenged right now because in order to do that, like show up in that way for them, I have to do it for myself.
Right.
And so that has been a game changer. Yeah. And now I'm learning right now how to do that. Like, Prai, chill right now. Like, what do you need? You're feeling anxious right now because you're getting excited about all these ideas and you're trying to get everything done at once. Maybe take a break, go get a snack, go take a walk. Maybe don't work on something today if you can't get it all done right now. Because right now I'm feeling like there's a lot I need to do before I go to see my sister tomorrow. And I'm just like, you're only one freaking person. At some point you have to accept that all of these to-dos and tasks are to be done by a 5-person business, realistically. And so I gotta find a way to work on the stuff that's most important. Mm-hmm. And that is by living my life intentionally. I have to be it, because then the most important stuff will just flow from me.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to feel like. And right now I'm kind of struggling to do that. I'm trying to move out of the hustle, task-oriented version of myself into where I'm just being. Because when I'm being, that's where my abundance is so fruitful.
Right.
Everything starts coming to me. I'm like, dang, I didn't even work on anything. Even my Prompt and Pour event, I was like, I need to do something to sell tickets. Because I haven't done some promoting or anything. I looked and I sold 6 tickets. I said, what the hell? The one time I take a little break and I don't do any promoting, it comes to me.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to embody more of that in my life. And that starts with taking care of myself. So yeah.
We're the games.
No, wait. Oh, yeah.
We're moving and grooving. I told you all I wasn't going to talk that much. I think I'm doing really well today.
Hey. Still recording.
It's still recording.
Oh, do you guys like the quality of this season? We're coming at you with some new quality, new mics, new cameras, new lights, because that's how much we're growing. We're praying for that growth. And listen, it's happening. There's been a lot that's happened. Y'all see, I got engaged. I got a job. I'm building community now for my brand. We got almost 300 subscribers now. Gavin is
still struggling.
No, you are not.
We're about honesty.
He did Philadelphia Fringe Festival.
I did Philadelphia Fringe. Yes, I did.
Very successful, and that's a big
she came to my show.
I did come to the show. It was amazing. I was inspired.
Growth is a struggle, though. I ain't gonna lie. My growth is in my struggle.
It is.
That is that is the story.
And now we're on our way to Hollywood Fringe.
Oh yeah, I'm doing Hollywood Fringe.
He acts like that's not a big feat, but it is.
Here we go, game segment. Here we go. Comfort or growth?
Growth.
Being understood or being authentic?
Being authentic. Forget being understood.
Outgrowing people or outgrowing yourself?
That's a good one. Outgrowing people or outgrowing myself? Outgrowing myself.
Immediate validation or long-term alignment?
Long-term alignment. Yeah, I don't need any of you.
Keeping the peace or speaking the truth?
Keeping the peace.
Explaining yourself or letting them misunderstand?
Letting them misunderstand.
Stability or reinvention?
Ooh, dang. Stability.
Old identity or uncertain future?
Uncertain future.
Okay, so you chose growth between comfort or growth. Why?
Because that one's obvious. Comfort, that's a trick. Growth.
Being understood or being authentic, you chose being authentic?
Yeah, because trying to be understood is exhausting because everybody is themselves. So why would you expect them to understand you?
Outgrowing people or outgrowing yourself? You said outgrowing yourself.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm very good at outgrowing people. That's natural because we are very growth oriented people. But I need to challenge myself to outgrow myself because I don't know everything. And I don't want to be a know it all. Like, so I want to outgrow myself.
I like that.
Yeah.
Immediate validation or long-term alignment? You said long-term alignment.
Yeah, because immediate validation is one thing that I'm trying to overcome, especially in light of social media and everything. It's easy to get caught up in the numbers and all that. And we don't need to be like that as a society, y'all.
Exactly. Keeping the peace or speaking the truth? You said keeping the peace.
Yes, because you guys know I'm all about speaking my truth, right? But it just becomes a point to where not everybody is going to understand. And so for me right now, I'm keeping the peace and only speaking on the truth when I feel like I want to and I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Explaining yourself or letting them misunderstand? You said letting them misunderstand.
Yeah, that one's obvious. Like, we all need to get to that point.
Stability or reinvention? You chose stability.
Yes, because I feel like I'm very good at reinventing myself. Praise
That
your love
is
to
true.
pivot.
Okay.
I want stability now.
Old identity or uncertain future?
Uncertain future, because I am definitely the type of person that will refuge to my old identity because I am uncertain of my future. So that's kind of like a little trick.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like those.
Your turn.
Me turn.
Comfort or growth?
Growth.
Being understood or being authentic?
Being understood.
Outgrowing people or outgrowing yourself?
Outgrowing myself.
Immediate validation or long-term alignment?
Long-term alignment.
Keeping the peace or speaking the truth?
Speaking the truth.
Explaining yourself or letting them misunderstand?
Explaining myself.
Stability or reinvention?
Reinvention.
Old identity or uncertain future?
Uncertain future.
Cool. Okay, so comfort or growth? You chose growth.
Yes, because growth is the name of this thing of life.
That part. Being understood or being authentic?
Being understood, because I do want people to understand. I think having understanding is important to me in general.
By everybody or just certain people?
I think by everybody. I think to me, understanding is a level of love. That in order to understand is to have love and to have care. Yeah.
Do you think that's possible though?
It is.
I feel like it's possible, but I don't know if everybody has the will.
They may not have the will, but I can still do my best to be understood.
Right. And for that to be something that you want.
Right. And that burden is on me so that there is clarity in what I say and what I do and how I move.
Because I want you to understand me. That's my intention.
That is my intention.
Okay, I get that. I like that. Outgrowing people or outgrowing yourself?
I said outgrowing myself. Again, because in growth, I think being able to rise above where you are or evolve, as we've been talking about, is really important. I think if everyone is doing that, people will naturally just outgrow people in general. If you're outgrowing yourself, you will.
Yeah, it just naturally happens.
It just naturally happens.
Stop being friends with certain people. We'll save that for another episode. Immediate validation or long-term alignment?
Long-term alignment, and that's really important to make sure that I'm aligning myself long-term with the things that matter and that are important and that are true to me.
Yes. Keeping the peace or speaking the truth?
Speaking the truth. The truth gives peace.
It does. That is true. I feel like naturally I speak the truth, and so that's why I chose keeping my peace. 'Cause sometimes you get tired of talking.
But
that's just me.
There's this concept that when we speak our truth or speak our mind, that it's like something that has to be like very belligerent or very like over the top. And to me, like, the truth is peaceful. Like, there's nothing more peaceful than saying, like, hey, Prasia, this is where I am. I don't have to force you to believe it.
That I agree with.
You know?
I think naturally I'd probably do that just because that's the type of person I am. But I guess I mean by keeping the peace, it's just, I feel like sometimes people are just like sometimes things don't just need to be said. Like, I guess I'm thinking of even the conversation, like I said, with my mom. Like, I just, like, you know, it's okay. There's nothing that, like, the truth doesn't need to be spoken. Because we all know the truth. Like,
do we though?
I mean, when it's already been spoken before.
Oh, that is true. You're right. And it goes back to my need to be sorry to pivot back in this game.
No, that's a good.
But it goes back
to
my need. It goes back personally to my need to be understood, because oftentimes I believe that when I misunderstood, people can't hear the truth. They're like, oh, everybody knows the truth, and it's like, well, I don't know if they know, because if they knew, then why am I so misunderstood? And so, which is why it's important for me to just be like really clear, because I'm trying to like clean up those channels of communication or things that are happening. So I do want to be understood. Like, I really want to be understood, because I'm speaking the truth. If I'm not speaking the truth, if it doesn't sound like it's the truth, then I need for us in this figuring out, like, coming to a place of understanding, like, what am I doing that it's not connecting? And it may not be me, it may be them, but if I'm in relationship with you, then I still have to take accountability as to why these things are not registering.
Yeah, no, I'm only going to tell you once at this point.
I'll tell you.
Well, I guess I agree, because even in my relationship, I have more grace. Like, I will speak of,
I love giving grace. I'm the king of giving grace. My friends hate me when they got to give a little grace. I'm like, give a little grace.
Give a little grace.
A little grace goes a long way.
But I guess I still give grace by keeping the peace too. So I guess you could argue that too.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But it's that peace for you, or is it the peace for them?
Me. Okay. That's literally the only reason why. Because if the peace is me speaking my truth for me, then I'm going to speak my truth. You get what I'm saying? But if the peace is me not speaking the truth and just letting you be in that moment and letting whatever karmic or whatever the universe wants to show you, I let universe and God handle that energy. Please send them the message. Now, one time I even wrote, because one time I wasn't getting through my fiance before he was my fiance. And I said, God, if this is the man for him, please allow him to receive this message. Like, please open his heart so that he can receive this message and figure it out. And he did. Not because I got the ring, but just because of, you know. You
need to do a session that all of us out there who trying to lock it down, we can prompt that to be like, God, this is what I need.
I mean,
open up those
shit
hearts.
Ain't just sweet, but all relationships are work.
They are.
But let us know what you think about that. Because that was two really good, interesting perspectives on that. Explaining yourself or letting them misunderstand. Also, then this is a good follow-up.
What did I say? I said explaining myself.
Yeah,
explaining. It goes back to I need for you. It is
imperative.
What I need from you is
understanding.
Yes, escape.
Yes.
Understanding is so. When there's misunderstanding, I don't have peace. That's why it ties in. It's like there is no peace if you think this thing is a way, or events are unfolding, and maybe there's some mystery or uncertainty, like everyone's part in these events or in this situation. That bothers me, and sometimes it happens because we're not aware of things that are happening inside of us, and sometimes it can be the other person, like your parents, so to speak. They don't understand that, but like that bothers me. So like, which is why growth is important to me, because I'm like, well, when it's happening. So
is this, because this is what I just thought about, because as you were saying that, yes, like in my relationship, I'm definitely like that. Like, I need to be understood. So would you say it's like in certain relationships?
All my relationships.
Or all your relationships? So this is a Gavin thing.
This is a Gavin thing, which is why Which is why people fuck with me. I'm just gonna be real. Which is why people fuck with me. There is no one out there that said like, I don't know what I'm gonna get from him. Like when you're in friendship with me, or if you've been in friendship with me, even if you decided to end that friendship or we've grown apart, like you can pretty much kind of know, even if it's been decades, like this is where we're gonna land. Or if I come back into the picture, like this is how it's going to be. And to me, that is important. Like I feel like people should know who they're in relationship with.
I guess I agree with you, because the more I think about it, in close relationships, yes.
Right.
So like my partner, my siblings, like if we're gonna have a close relationship, like my sisters are my best friends, and they're adults now, so we have to have some sort of understanding of one another to have a good relationship. For the outside world, I guess I'm thinking more of like work and like showing up in everyday life. I don't give a hell about being understood and things like that, or being understood by like outsiders or like acquaintances, like, or friends of friends, or family friends, or extended family.
It's for me, like it's still true with that too. And when I say that, I'm saying for me, it's important to have a standard of my value and how I treat people. I value people.
So do you feel like they understand your work?
Yes. They understand work. Okay, I wear various hats. Like they understand work Gavin. Like work Gavin shows up a certain type of way, and that's what you get. Like you're not getting a surprise. Like you're like Gavin does the work. Gavin is communicative. You know, he does these things. Like that is just like, that is when I wear that hat, like you understand your working relationship with me. Right. It's never like, oh, one day like Gavin is responsive, and then like the next week like he doesn't answer his emails.
So I guess I get that, because it's like you need to understand, and I'm kind of like that. Like you will understand to a degree. Like you're gonna understand my boundaries. But if you don't understand like why I set them or who I am, like, and that's okay.
For me, it's about consistency. Everybody is going through something. So you don't have to tell me all your deepest, darkest secrets. I'm not going to tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, but also if I'm having a bad day, or if things are, or if I'm a little off, I'm feeling a little excited, I will share that with colleagues. Like, people know, like, this is Gavin.
So if you make a decision and you have to express this decision to a person, and they say they don't understand, you try to explain it to them, but they still don't understand the why behind it because it just doesn't relate to them. Does that like really irk you because you need to understand to that level, or is it more situational?
If they don't I'm okay without them understanding. Like if we both set the space for us to speak our piece or the thing, I'm okay. I don't like there to be conflict around that. Right. So my thing is that if we're creating space, like even if we agree to disagree, I'm like, Prai, we can disagree.
Common ground.
We have a common ground, like we're gonna disagree, but there's like, no, like I don't know why he did that. No, you do know why. I told you why.
But I'm saying I know why, but I don't understand.
And if you don't understand why,
I don't get him.
But this is what I'm gonna say. That response is never true. Okay. That response isn't true. Okay. Not for you.
No, I know what you mean.
If a person is saying that, they get it. They don't want to get it. And typically they don't say that. Yeah. They are more combative. Because a person who says like, if I go like, Prai, I don't really understand. And then you'll tell me, and I've said this to you, I'm gonna have to go home and think on that a little bit, right?
Or like, I don't get it.
I don't get it. But
you get it. It's just
oftentimes we'll revisit. Like we've had things that like I was like, I don't know, and then I'd be like, you know what? I thought about what you said. That's what a person who loves you does.
That's true.
They don't go, I don't get it. It's just like, no, that's deflecting, which is why I'm intentional about saying like, this is what it is. I'm talking to you in a way that's respectful, that's kind, that's tactful. If you're going to be combative, you dealing with that, and that ain't me. Right. But if we're just like, if we're friends and we're talking like, oh, I can't wrap my head around it, we're gonna keep coming back to the table until we meet somewhere. Like there's never gonna be a time where like, I don't get it, Prai, and I'm done with it. I'm like, you know what I thought about it. I'm like, Gavin, let's remember, and we'll keep talking, and the conversations, each conversation will bring enlightenment, and we'll move to a place of understanding. And understanding doesn't necessarily mean I have to agree. Understanding is say, I get Prai's perspective on this thing and why she said or behaved the way that she did.
Yeah, reacted the way
that is it. I don't have to villainize her for it. I don't have to block her for it or shut her out. I just have to say, I understand that. That may not have been my reaction, but I understand her reaction.
I don't think everyone's capable of that, but I do agree. Some of these people. But no, that makes sense. Okay, stability or reinvention?
I said reinvention. I like you. I love a good pivot. I'm like, not working.
Right.
Let's do it. But also too, I think it's been the secret sauce to my growth. I mean, I'm in a place in my life where life is saying like to do less of that. But in my youth, it served me very well because it made me fearless. I'm like, oh, this didn't work out. I don't understand why this didn't work out. Okay, well, do this. And so when people ask me, like my younger sisters and cousins, and when I was teaching my students, you know, had questions and I would mentor them, that was the thing. It was like I was able to pivot and not get caught up in the thing and like reinvent. I was like, yeah, I thought this was, but it's not working. And you do it and you do it and you do it and you do it right. So it makes you bold in a way.
And learning all these new things. No, I will say I agree. I'm grateful for all of my pivots because I feel like it helped me discover my purpose. But now I feel comfortable. I feel in alignment. I know this is my purpose. So now I'm trying to tell Prasia, stability, no more pivots, baby girl. No more pivots. You're here. You've arrived. And now the only reason why you would pivot is because of fear, because it's all working. So if you pivot now, it's not from a good place.
She preaching.
Yeah, so I'm like, choose stability.
So it's funny that you say that because, you know, I was telling person like, oh, I may move in another year or so. And then I was having one of these conversations with myself, like, Gavin, what's wrong?
Okay.
And it was like, this is one of those ones like, well, is this particular pivot that you're wanting to do, is it out of fear or is it out of an organic thing to say like this season and this chapter at this particular location has ended?
Right.
And I didn't answer in that moment because I'm like, I don't know. Am I? So there's still something I have to explore because I don't still have an answer to it, but it came up in my mind and I was like, oh, I don't know. I need to think. Is this me doing a reinvention thing to say, been there, done that, let's reinvent, or is there something that I need to face? Yeah,
is it a chapter that you're still writing?
And I think that, and if I'm honest right now, I think it's probably there's still a chapter that I need to write and I don't want to write it.
Yeah, you don't want to write it. You're like, I'm done. On to the next chapter.
Right, Fraser, come catch me in.
You're like, babe, you can't get to that chapter until you finish this one. Finish this chapter, babe.
Oh, goodness.
That's a good point. I think we're done with that. Oh, old identity or uncertain future?
Uncertain future. I'm okay with the uncertainty of life.
We got to learn to be comfortable at some point with the uncertainty of life. You see how uncertain our future is. Look at
look at the world today. What's going on?
We will rise and rise.
Exactly.
Well, that was kind of good. You heard that?
Okay, do it again. She said, I can't do it.
Sister, call me. We did have a fact or fiction. I guess we can do it real quick.
Do it. Let's do it.
Okay. If people don't understand your growth, you should slow down.
Fiction.
Yeah, I say fiction. Real growth always costs you something.
Fiction. The key word in there is always. It doesn't always cost. If you said sometimes, but I don't think real growth doesn't always cost you something. Yeah,
because I know there's this growth, your new life's gonna cost you your old one, and like, you know, there's all that, like, which is true, right. But I do think sometimes we get so scared of growth because we think it's gonna cost us something, or we'll look at something as it costing when it really wasn't.
It wasn't a cost.
It wasn't a cost. You can evolve without changing your environment.
Facts. Because sometimes you can't escape. So if you can't escape the environment, then are you going to blame your environment for lack of growth, or are you just going to see it for what it is and to say, I have to grow in this, and then on the other side of this will be the other side. Or sometimes you have to, there's a few small steps you got to do first in that environment before you can get to the new one, whether it's
even finding a job in that location, that's very tangible, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
It might be internal or spiritual, but there might be some sort of growth you got to do before you can get to the new environment. And for some people, I do think a new environment might be best. If you have that opportunity, then...
I think you know what, I want to stay on this a little while. And the only reason why is I actually find that in today's society, when people think of change, they immediately think moving, change of location, exiting out of this thing. And that is not always the answer. You know, like you say, there are certain cases, but I would say for what many of us go through, the shit that you're living through, 50% of that shit was created by you, and you have to own the 50% of that shit, and you got to clean it up, and you got to do the best in it.
Yeah.
And and I think there's a lack of accountability oftentimes in our part in a particular situation or things that are happening in our lives. And if you want the change, part of the change is recognizing your part, because I often feel like you can't leave the environment until you recognize how you jack this up.
Yeah, because
then you're gonna just do the same thing in a new place.
Yeah, because there's a lot of variables, but that's very true. Because let's take someone from the hood, for example. I was born in Youngstown, Ohio, and I see a lot of people who thrive there, family members and people who thrive there, and there's also a lot of people who don't. There are people who don't because they simply can't. For example, me in my small town, I don't think I could have thrived because of all the things that I wanted to do. It just wasn't in alignment. However, I know cousins who needed to make changes first before moving to a new location to do the same shit. And I think that goes to what you're saying, because some people say like, whoa, what if I'm in the hood or it's a dangerous situation? It's like, oh yeah, like for sure. But it's like also, are you a part of how involved are you in those dangerous situations? Because if you're going to go to somewhere else to do the same kind of behavior.
Then what's the thing?
Right.
It's a hot take. I'm not.
Or you can be ratchet in one space and go be ratchet in the next space. Or be chaotic in one space just to go. That's what I told my little sister too. She's young, she was living her best life in Texas. And I said, if you're going to come here and do the same thing, it's not going to work. You might as well stay there.
Exactly.
Stay there and grow first and then figure out what you want to do, and that's okay too.
Right.
And then she decided, no, I'm making a choice and I'm ready. I do want to be different. I do want to grow.
For her.
And that's what she did. So
that's the lesson for you all too.
Yeah.
Don't think moving and leaving your city or whatever or yada 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 is gonna fix it. I mean, if you always find yourself in a toxic relationship, common denominator is you.
That may be true.
They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for that.
That was a bar.
If it gets lonely, you're doing something wrong. Fiction.
Fiction. That's a tough one though. Like I say fiction, but I do think sometimes, like I know I made a couple of posts where I'm like, Black women, we often talk about, not having community, but then we don't look enough at how often we isolate ourselves. And I know I'm very good at doing that. And I'm like, I'm building community, but it starts with me, right? And so that's been a challenge, because for me, I'm like, you're building community, but you're lonely.
Is it that you're lonely, or that you need those periods of solitude to work on or to like process something or work on your next project? Because I do think like lonely is a very particular thing, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's what I've been questioning, because I feel like part of me has a hard time accepting that what I'm trying to do is big and will require that. But then there's also a balance. And I know sometimes I will stay in that space for too long. Like, for example, dancing is a good one. I've been learning salsa and bachata. I'm really good now. But all this new stuff came up with Always Pray and, my community growing. And so for a second, and I'm having a new event, Prompt and Pour. And so I was like, okay. And then I started my period. So like for a month, I just kind of isolated myself. And I felt like it was what I needed until we got to that last week. And then I'm like, okay, you got to get back out there or you're going to isolate yourself for too long. And the cycle is going to start to turn into old Prasia. Because I do feel like there was a point where I isolated myself too much. And I was pursuing stuff that wasn't like real.
Is that part of Prasia's, here we go. We talk too much. We can't help it. We start talking and things come up. But is that part of the thing, like, owed you wanting to work and wanting to be all successful, I can do it all, Black woman, overachiever Prasia? Because like, I don't know. You look at me like, what you talking about?
No, I'm like taking it in.
I mean, like, right, because these are ways of working.
Yeah.
And if you've been so driven and you're like, I'm a motivator, I'm a self-starter, I can do this thing. And as you're growing, and if that has been your method of working all of your life, of course you're like, I got to get something done. You're going to close people out because you're like, I'm used to just banging this shit out.
That's how I'm
versus saying
by myself.
Like, you know, no, let me pull in someone to like help me to like do this thing or like bounce some ideas off.
Yeah, or like take some of those things off your plate because you're not a big business now, so that's not important. Go mingle, go talk, and then do the little stuff because that's going to have more of a long-lasting impact. And then all the other stuff will have more impact and be more important later in the business anyways. But I am such a business-oriented person, and I'm so used to, as a consultant, doing that for other people. Right? Just sitting and working on their stuff, working on my stuff, working on their stuff, working on my stuff, like, you know, locked in. But now my purpose is literally asking me to do the opposite of that.
Anybody want to intern for Always Prai?
I am going to hire 2 interns, actually. You can give college credit.
This is what the universe is telling me, that you need an intern.
Wow, no, I'm actually going to start, like, that's a priority, I realize, for this next event. Yeah, I didn't tell you, but
that's how you know it needs to happen.
Yeah, it's a priority. But I also need to make time and space for me to connect with others in the way that I'm trying to get others to connect with each other and with me. Like, I can't sell it. I got to be it.
Right.
Like, that's where we're at. Like, I can have events, I can do the Grow Girls, I can do the community fund pool, which is an amazing idea, way bigger than myself, right? Like, I know I'm gonna be that bitch, but, you know, creating impact that I want. But to be happy and to really create an impactful community, it starts with me. Like, it starts with the little, like, I need friends. I need more friends, connections. And I need them to stay. Not stay, like, I don't need a you, because me and you are me and you. Like, all I need is, and I am finding it, I'm doing better. Like I said, even with Salsa Bachata, like, I'm friends with a lot of people there. That's so new. Like, I'd be walking up to people like, hey, I'm Prasia. Like your shirt. You dance really good. Like, I just be going to talk to people, and I'm making, but it's like, that's why I put myself out there. I went and did something new. And it was for me. I went out and enjoyed it, and now I'm finding a little community in that. Same with my community. Like, how do I nurture that? Like, without it being a paid event or stuff like that. And salesy, like. Because it's for me too.
It is for you too. It is for you.
I realized that. Like, that's for me too. Even when I had my first Prompt and Pour event, my sister made a friend. And I was like, this is why I'm freaking doing it. Because she is my sister is my target audience. And the girls is my target audience, you know, like, and they made friends. My sister needs friends. She needs friends. It's perfect. I made connections, which is great. And I want to make more of those connections.
People who love you will always adjust to your evolution. That's facts. I said fiction, but that's facts. I had to rethink that sentence again. It's facts.
Adjust is the key word there.
You're doing it like, adjust.
No, adjust is the key word there, because if they love you, they will adjust, even if it makes them uncomfortable and they don't agree. They will have no choice but to respect that boundary because they love you. So they will adjust.
That's why I went back and said that.
Yeah, that's very true. Because even now I'm learning to set boundaries, and you feel uncomfortable and guilty at first. But then after you practice, they adjust. And they continue to love you just as much as they did before because they love you. That just becomes the new norm.
Pray for growth. Gotta pray for growth. You gotta pray for growth. You gotta pray for growth. You gotta pray for growth. Gotta grow. You gotta grow. You gotta grow. You wanna grow. You gotta grow. You wanna grow. You gotta grow.
That's the song.
That's it. That one's it.
Growth may change my relationships, but it will never change my
It'll
mother.
never change my mother worth.
Yeah, it's true. That's so cute.
Growth may change my relationships, but it will never change my worth.
Okay, and before we close out, because it is a new year 2026 and we haven't seen you guys since last year.
Yes.
Gavin, what is one thing you're releasing this season? Go.
Oh, what am I releasing? I am releasing doubt.
Release the doubt.
Yes.
I'm releasing being in my head. I want to be in my spirit. Less in my head, more in my spirit.
I like that.
Well, you guys will let us know what
Yes.
you're trying to release this year.
Yes, please like, subscribe,
Comment, share, whatever it is that you do.
Whatever
please do.
it is, you do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, well, that sums up episode 2. So catch us next time on Pray for Growth podcast, where growth is a journey. So let's keep
learning. Peace.
Oh my God.